Hi, I'm Dario Cortez. Berkeley College believes that all citizens need to be informed about the important issues that affect our daily lives. That's why we're proud to support programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation and the partners in public television.
Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, Investors Bank, Berkeley College, New Jersey Natural Gas, proud to support education in our communities, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey Sharing Network, dedicated to saving lives through organ and tissue donation, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, founded by the Jewish community.
This is One-on-One.
When you first heard that they were doing Charlie Rose and Gayle King, didn't you go, what?
People like laughing at others, so I don't mind if the other is me.
See, you go right into the character. That's what it is.
I'm bringing families together a half an hour each week. Man, I'm doing something special.
And so I do feel successful.
Steve Adubato here in Verona Park. It is the 13th annual Stroll and Roll Kessler Foundation. I'll tell you what, it is an absolutely great day. 13 years Kessler Foundation has been coming together with people with disabilities, organizations that support people with disabilities, individuals who we've met today. They just never give up. They're inspiring, they're motivational. So we're going to speak to people from the foundation staff, people doing great research, supporting nonprofits who are helping individuals and organizations making a difference with those with disabilities, and individuals and their family members with disabilities. So, great day here. The 13th annual Stroll and Roll here, Verona Park, Kessler Foundation. What a great day. You're going to love the people you meet and be inspired by them to want to make a difference. We're here with Jerome Kessler, Robin Kessler, and Rick Kessler. And this is a name you know well. This is the Kessler family. And in fact, Henry Kessler, Dr. Henry Kessler, in 1947 started the Kessler Rehabilitation Institute because
of his experiences during the 20s, later the 30s, the war. So what my father and my grandfather saw in World War II basically made it so that they saw the incredible need for the soldiers coming back from the war, that they needed to regain both hope and their ability to integrate back into society. And that was the primary reason, I think.
I'm sorry, Robin, go ahead.
It goes back to the saying of one of his books, a well-known book called The Knife Is Not Enough. After you do surgery on an acute injury, now what do? You can't just mend the body, you have to mend everything. You have to mend the mind and put people back into being with their families and society. So really, the knife is not enough. You need everything and everybody to help and put people back into having a whole life. So that's coming back even now with the veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan, same as the veterans that were coming back from Mare Island, where my grandfather had been stationed. My dad was out in California, saw that, and so we're just continuing. And now it's multi-generational because we have our own children involved.
And Jerome, if I can ask you, your family has contributed so much. What are you most proud of?
Their attitude in continuing my father's legacy, in that it's, whether it was born in them or he instilled in them, this dedication for and to the handicapped, wherever they are, whether it be in Europe, Africa, during the war at Mare Island, my experience during the war, Pasadena, California, the amputees, the blind that were in the Veterans Hospital, that this feeling, inner feeling of dedication to the world's handicap.
You honor us, your family honors us by everything that you have done, and thank you. On behalf of everyone in public broadcasting, thank you to the Kessler family. We're here with Roger DeRose, who is the President and Chief Executive Officer of the Kessler Foundation, and Liz Lowenstein, Chairman of the Kessler Foundation's Board of Trustees. We're here for the 13th annual Stroll and Roll. This is a great event. Tell us what it's all about.
Well, we're here together as a group of able-bodied and disabled folks here to celebrate the gorgeous weather that we're about to have, but more important, to show our ability to step up to the plate and make the lives and improve the lives of disabled people all over the country.
And Roger, we've spoken on the air in public broadcasting before. We work closely with the Kessler Foundation. For those who do not know what the foundation is and your important work, describe it.
Well, the Kessler Foundation is all about helping to change the lives of people with disabilities. And we do that through the research that we conduct that's improving the functionality of an individual to make them as independent as possible, and then bring them back into the community in terms of the work by getting them ingrained in the community again through employment initiatives.
And who will be meeting? We'll be talking to grantees. We'll be talking to individuals who have come to the 13th annual Stroll and Roll here in Verona Park for the Kessler Foundation. We'll be talking to all sorts of folks whose lives have been changed by and through the foundation.
Yes, this has been going on for quite some time. I've been a part of the foundation for the past, since the inception, which is 2003. And at this juncture, we have done tremendous things through our, as Roger said, through our research center and our grants program to help folks back to work and to, of course, improve the lives of disabled folks through our research programs. But this particular venue brings everybody together to promote the lives of disabled people and keep them on track to have really great lives.
Roger, one question before I let you go. It's going to be a great day today. The grantees, individuals from all over coming here to support the Stroll and Roll and the work of the foundation. You're most proud of what with this team?
Well, you know, I'm most proud of this team because every day that they come into the office and into the research center, they're excited about the work that they're doing because they know that they're changing the lives of people with disabilities and fostering independence and, again, getting them back into the community, back into their lives, back into their families. That's what's
into the workforce as well.
To the workforce as well, yes.
It's going to be a great day here in Verona Park. The 13th annual Kessler Foundation Stroll and Roll. This team is the North Jersey Navigators, a competitive adaptive sports team of junior athletes with disabilities. Kessler Foundation has been supporting this team since 2005, and this is the head coach, Jimmy Cuevas.
That's correct. I'm Jimmy Cuevas.
Okay, Jimmy, let me ask you something. Who are these guys, and why are they so good?
Oh, because we practice very hard. You know, we offer a Paralympic sport program for individuals with disabilities, and you know, what we do is, you know, we give them the opportunity to train and excel in Paralympic sports.
What kind of disabilities are we talking about?
We're talking about spinal bifida, cerebral palsy. We got athletes with amputations, you know, SCI, many disabilities, all ages.
You got your coaches behind you?
Absolutely.
Now let me ask you this. The team competes all the time. It's a big team, right?
Yes, we are. We have about 25 members in the team right now, and it keeps on growing.
Okay. Talk about the work of the Kessler Foundation, why it's so important to the Navigators.
Oh my goodness, the Kessler Foundation has been supporting us for about 10 years. We started back in 2004 as a grassroots program with very limited resources, and the Kessler Foundation gave us, you know, the initial funding to get the program off the ground and get it to the point where we are today.
What does it do? Let me ask you this before I talk to one of the athletes. What does it do for many of the athletes here? What has this program done for them?
Oh, it changed their life completely.
How so?
You know, it's not only the social aspect; they gain independence. You know, we actually try to actually push them in a way where they can actually pursue higher education and eventually lead to a professional job in the future.
Now, I asked before who was actually interested in going on camera. A few hands went up, but there's a guy named Miguel, right?
Miguel Jimenez. He's one of our most energetic athletes that we have.
You think Miguel will actually do it? Guys, you actually think Miguel will talk to me? You think he's going to do it? All right, now guys, follow me. Let's see if Miguel is actually ready to do this. I'm going to come over here. Miguel, you ready? All right, Miguel, what are you going to direct the show too? Miguel, let me ask you.
I ride 3 bikes yesterday.
You wrecked 3 bikes. Thanks for sharing. I didn't even ask a question. He's got the answers before the questions. Miguel, let me ask you, what is this race today, the Stroll and Roll, what is it like for you?
It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a really scenic route, but it's also a lot of fun.
The best thing about being a part of the Navigators, what is it?
God, we're like a family, really. Everyone here, like, they're really supportive of each other. And, like, no matter what, we're always, like, holding each other up. It's really nice.
When I was just talking to your head coach, he was talking about what you and a lot of your colleagues, the other athletes, have taken away from this great program. What do you take away from it, other than the fact that they're your family now? And I'm sure there's some fights sometimes. I mean, families have fights, guys. Some fights. We won't, with public broadcasting, we won't talk about the fights. What has this program given you?
I guess now, like, if you asked me before I joined the team, if you asked me to, like, talk on TV, I would, like, freak out and just, like, no, thank you. And now I just, like, have, I think, a better personality.
Confident?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. And, like, jokes.
You consider yourself someone with a disability?
Not really. Not anymore. Before I was pretty down, and it was just all, like, you know, I was pretty sad about stuff like that. People would talk about my legs, and I'd get pretty sad. Now I joke around it.
You're a winner, aren't you?
I try to be.
You are. Thank you. Gentleman on camera right now is no stranger to our audience in public broadcasting. State Assemblyman Tom Giblin, a big supporter of Kessler Foundation and the work they're doing. Assemblyman, why is this organization, why is a day like this so important?
Well, because Kessler, believe it or not, is really world famous. It has changed lives of people with disabilities, made them be able to go back with their families and the community and get gainful employment because of the excellent work they provide at Kessler. Really, it's a miracle maker, I guess, if you want to call it that.
And for those who say, hey, I guess it's important for the quote-unquote disabled community, it's more than that, isn't it?
It's more than that. So many people, whether it be an operation or a hospital stay. My late mother broke her hip, went through Kessler and come back in a matter of literally weeks, and she was able to go on for several more years with a productive life, and I attribute a lot of that to the great work they were able to do at Kessler.
Thank you, Assemblyman.
Thank you, Steve.
We're here with our good friend Scott Chesney, who's been with us on One-on-One Public Broadcasting many times, a motivational speaker and author here at the 13th Annual Kessler Foundation Stroll and Roll. You're tied to these guys because?
Almost 30 years ago, I spent a good period of time when I was initially paralyzed at Kessler Institute for Rehabilitation, and I consider the foundation just to be an extension of the rehabilitation that they offer and the rehabilitative research and everything they're doing to employ people with disabilities. Kessler is a part of my daily living, so obviously I'm going to have a connection, and they're right in my backyard too in West Orange. I'm right here in Verona, so it's just great. Wonderful people, wonderful cause.
And Scott has been motivating, as I said, and inspiring others for a long time. And I remember when Scott first came on, the people he's about to bring into camera were not around. He was a star athlete right here in this town of Verona, New Jersey. Played 3 sports?
Played 3 sports, football, basketball, and baseball.
And a traumatic injury changed his life, and since then he's been changing the lives of others. Never been easy, but he never gave up. Do me a favor, call in the folks who are with you.
Absolutely. This is my wife, Pratiksha. We've been married 15 years. And then we have my daughter, Nia, who's almost 12 years old, and my son, Ray. And we have our dog, Sooner, somewhere floating around. Everyone comes to the cause today.
30 years later.
30 years later. But you know what's wonderful is that every once in a while I'll call these 2 munchkins behind me impossible, because in addition to being told I'd never be able to walk again, I was told I'd never be able to father my own children. So that's more important to me than everything, and that's part of my meaning in life right now. And purpose in life is to just carry on what is possible in life.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Steve. Great to see you, buddy. Thanks for being here.
We're here with Miriam Garden, who is director of Real Abilities, New Jersey Disabilities Film Festival. I did not know that there was a film festival dedicated to people dealing with disabilities. When did that start?
This is our 2nd year in New Jersey, but it's been going on in New York City for several more years, and there are actually 8 festivals around the country, so we're one of many, and it's growing. It's a national program. We show award-winning films by and about people with disabilities.
Who are the people with disabilities who make these films, and why do they do it?
Some of them are filmmakers who experience disability perhaps after they were already involved in filmmaking, and some of them are people who have interesting stories to tell, so a filmmaker comes to them and makes a documentary. Some of them are fiction films. There are films ranging every type of disability you could imagine. So, and every year it's a different slew of films. There's an intense vetting process that happens nationally, and then we get a pile of films that we're allowed to choose from.
The Kessler Foundation is very supportive of what you're doing. Why do you think that is?
We are fulfilling part of their mission, and they've given us not only financial support, our seed money, they're our lead sponsor, but they also give us advice and encouragement, and they come to our meetings, and when we're looking for a speaker for our screenings, we have a post-screening discussion after every single film. They've given us suggestions of people we could use. We actually have one of their employees, Lauren Scrivo, the communications.
She's great.
She is one of our speakers for our festival. We would love to have you as a speaker, Steve, so maybe you'll consider.
I would be honored. It's so funny. We're very closely connected to the Montclair Film Festival, and I realized that film can, one of the things we've learned by doing that is film really does move people.
Absolutely. And what we're really interested in is a crossroads where we have people from our mainstream community, from wherever they come from, and then people from the disabilities community all sitting together in an audience, participating in a conversation, experiencing film together. These aren't films you can see on Netflix, so they're new, and just having that experience together and being part of that conversation in the same moment. It's incredible.
We're here with Charlie Fleischer, who is with the Voice for Injury Prevention New Jersey chapter of Think First. What is Think First?
Think First is an organization. We go out into schools and we try to impact the kids so they don't have kind of accidents I had.
Describe yours.
I was the passenger in an automobile accident when I was 18 years old. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. The driver and I were both drinking underage, and that was 26 years ago. So I've been in a chair for 26 years, and my mother and I are both in Think First, and we go out and we try to make sure that as many kids as possible don't make the same mistakes that I made.
What's your connection to the foundation?
Way back. First I started off, I was an inpatient at Kessler. And I've been involved with the foundation through different studies throughout the years.
When you say studies, let folks know. You hear the foundation supports studies, but people don't really know what that means, Charlie.
Okay, so they do a lot of research to try and improve the quality of life with people with disabilities. On top of that, they spend a lot of time and money trying to help people with disabilities get back to work. So those are the two of the main things that I know that the foundation works for. And for a long time, they also help with the prevention part, which I was involved in.
Charlie's got a book. The book is called The Secret of Difficulties, 4 Steps to Turn Tragedies into Opportunities. You are not a pessimist.
Not at all.
Because?
I was very lucky. I've had a very good support system. And I had a lot of people in the hospital who were friends that I knew who struggled a lot. And maybe I learned from them, but I realized right from the get-go that that doesn't get you anywhere. So right after my injury, I was able to have some really great programs where I went whitewater rafting, water skiing while I was still in the hospital. So I saw that and I said, wow, there's still a lot that I can still do. And I've been very involved in trying to keep active. And so that's what I saw as my possibilities from very early on, and I was very lucky to have that. And I got right back on the horse, so to speak. I was able to go back to college within a year, start driving an adapted vehicle. I had a really cool truck that's really awesome. 4-wheel drive pickup truck. You would have never imagined.
Nothing stops you.
No. I work very hard to try and stay active and stay positive.
You're an inspiration to everyone. Thanks, Charlie.
Thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it very much.
The team from Easter Seals is here at the 13th annual Stroll N Kessler Foundation. We have Anissa Holder, who is the marketing director at Easter Seals, New Jersey, and Jerome Montes, who heads up the
high school high-tech program for Easter Seals, New Jersey.
And that program does what?
It explores, it allows youth who are differently abled to explore opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and math, whether those opportunities are educational opportunities or career development opportunities.
Let's talk about the relationship between Easter Seals and Kessler Foundation. Describe it and why is it so important?
Well, the Kessler Foundation has been a longtime supporter of the Easter Seals organization, and their support has really helped us continue to provide opportunities to people with disabilities. It's specifically in the Department of Employment. And so their grants have enabled programs like Jerome's to allow students with disabilities and other populations of folks who have disabilities and special needs enjoy the opportunities of having a job and earning their own income. So,
You know, people hear Easter Seals and they think they know. But a lot of folks don't know. Describe for those who hear it, know the brand, but don't know the work. Easter Seals does what?
Well, in the case of my program, what we do is we really try to put our youth in touch with mentors and employers who can...
Why is that so important?
Well, if you're a youth, you know, probably one of the hardest questions facing you in this 21st century economy right now is, you know, what's my career path going to be? Where should I go to college? These are all really, really, really tough questions. And by putting these youth in touch with local area employers such as Magic 98.3, the Hyatt Regency New Brunswick, Merck Company, PSE&G, we really allow them to see what it takes to succeed, to thrive in a particular career path. We would not be able to do this without Kessler Foundation funding. They have really provided the core of support for our program for these past 2 years.
And that's just one of the programs at Easter Seals, right?
that's correct. You know, Easter Seals provides a variety of services that help individuals live, learn, work, and play in their community. So definitely just one of the programs.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all that you do.
Thank you.
We're here with Dan and Amber Molino. Dan, you are part of this event. You are an avid cyclist, but in 2010, you suffered a very serious injury. Talk about it.
In 2010, I fell from a ladder while working on a telephone pole, working on the overhead lines. Resulted in me being in a coma for almost 3 weeks, hospital and rehab for about 3 months, where I had to learn to walk, talk, and essentially get back on the bike all over again. Kessler Rehab, Kessler Institute was where I had my rehab. They were partially responsible for why I got the balance back, and it took about a year and a half before I was back on the bike itself.
The rest of us who want to be supportive, but we've never faced, some of the challenges that you have. I read about you, but we have no idea. What has that journey been like?
It's difficult. Most people don't understand how a brain injury does affect people. It's one of those disabilities that aren't necessarily visible. When somebody has the other one types, you can usually see it. Most of mine is mentally based. If I'm thinking too hard, the mind shuts down. Fatigue's a major problem. And so it's stuff that really only my wife notices. And the nice thing with the bike is, short of the tired aspect, I don't need the high thinking. It's nature to me on how to ride, and so hence why it acts as an escape. But people just need to understand, you won't see the effects of a brain injury unless you're with the person 24 hours a day. We learn pretty quickly how to avoid situations where they come forward.
Amber, let me ask you this. My understanding is that both of you rode all the way down here from your home, which is 20... Oh, you knew... I was going to say 22. Then it said 25 miles away. That journey, describe it, that 25 miles plus for you.
Well, I mean, we ride a lot together. So I did have that practice, and, I exercise at home regularly. We're very active individuals. There were a couple of hills here and there that I complained about, but overall it was a beautiful day. I mean, we started out early. The traffic was light. It made it easier.
The 25 miles, but what about the other journey, the bigger journey?
Big journey. That's been hard. I've faced the hardest thing I've ever hoped to face in my life. When I woke up to the day that Dan had his accident, it was really scary. But I've grown as a person. It's made me stronger, and together as a couple, going through that, I don't wish it on anybody, but I think it's brought us a lot closer.
And I'm sorry for interrupting. Today's event means what to you and to your family?
Kessler Foundation does a lot of the research, and based on a lot they've looked into, it's actually helped me. And they study into brain injury, hopefully so that more people will come out of it like I did. They won't be as bad off as some do.
You're optimistic, aren't you?
I try to be.
Hope you enjoyed this last half hour talking to people here at the 13th annual Stroll and Roll with the Kessler Foundation, talking to people who are making a difference in the lives of those with disabilities and those affected by disabilities and their families. Join us next time as we continue that conversation with really very, very special people, not just talking about those affected by disabilities, but also understanding why it matters to all of us in society. See us next time.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Hackensack University Health Network, Investors Bank, Berkeley College, New Jersey Natural Gas, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com. And by NJ Biz, all business, all New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
I'm Paul Susek, Berkeley College class of 2002, Senior Marketing Manager, ESPN.
Carla McDonald, class of 2012, Senior Client Associate, UBS Financial.
Veronica Mormando, class of 95, Chief Operating Officer, PS Finance.
Tama Iguelas, class of 2006, Director, The Voice of Liberia.
From different walks of life, many of our students succeed in different ways, yet their first step is exactly the same: Berkeley College.